cobras and vipers, and they won't bite you. They tell you in the kingdom that our kids gonna be able to play. And it said cockatrice then, which we look up the word cockatrice, it means a venomous snake. Our baby's gonna be in the den of snakes, and they ain't gonna get bit because we had dominion over all animals. That's why Adam named every animal. Go to read Genesis 5:1.
Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam.
Right.
And the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him.
Right.
Male and female created he them.
Right.
And blessed them, and called their name Adam.
And called their name Adam. So Eve was called Adam too. They were called the Adamites. Right. Now let's get on. Go to John 1:1. Let's get that real quick. Yeah, everything, man. That Roman Catholicism. That's why people destroy it, man. Because they believe that. In Genesis 1:1, when it says God created the heaven and the earth. That word God ain't talking about the Most High. The word God, when you look it up, that's why the Muslims say Allah. That's what God means. Allah is short for power, but it's Allahayim, which is plural. When you look it up, what Allahayim means, what God means, it means judges, angels, rulers. So, finna get it. YAHAWASHI, the word he called Jesus, him and the angels created everything. The Most High Yahawah created his son, his only begotten son, and he created the angels. And us, the other sons of God. All the fallen here about the fallen angels, that's us. He put us in these bodies. He said he put us in these bodies of darkness, in these chains of darkness.
Why would they call it fallen angels? Why did they call it?
Because we failed from following his laws and his commandments. They never failed from heaven. Right, it's just we failed. He made us low. That's why it said, either might rule over, they on the top and we on the bottom. They the head and we the tail.
John chapter 1, verse 1.
Right.
In the beginning was the Word.
In the beginning was the Word. According to the scripture, you know Jesus is the Word. Right?
And the Word was with God.
And the Word was with God, meaning the Word was with power, or angels. The Word was with the angels, because when you look at God, it judges, rulers, and angels. Tell one you want to be.
And the Word was God.
And the Word, YAHAWASHI, was the Allahayim, was power, with the angels. Go ahead.
And the same was in the beginning with God.
And the same was in the beginning. Right? So everybody think he came through Mary and Joseph. No, man, he was in the beginning. He was sitting on the throne with the Most High Yahawah. He didn't want to say, listen, Father, because the Most High was going to do away with us. With Moses. He told Moses he could have raised up stones. Because we were so wicked after we came out of Egypt. The Lord finna kill all the Israelites. He told Moses, I'll bring up a whole nation through you. Go ahead.
All things were made by him.
By him. Go ahead.
And without him was not anything made.
And without him was not anything made. So the Most High created YAHAWASHI, and he said, listen, son, here go the blueprint. Let's prove that. Go to Colossians 1 and 15. Show you that people don't understand, man. That's why they say, oh, you gotta let yourself the Trinity. God and the Father, the Father, the Son, they one. No, man. They are two separate entities. If they are one, who the hell when he said, come sit on my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool? Who the hell was he talking to? When Yahawah, when they crucified him, when he was praying, before they came and got him, when Judas traded him in for 30 pieces of silver, who the hell was he praying to? Himself? It don't make no sense. Go ahead, dog.
It's Colossians 1 and 15.
Start at 13.
13. Who have delivered us from the power of darkness.
Right, YAHAWASHI, he came and died for our sin. Go ahead.
And has translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son.
Right, meaning the elect of us. All Israel gonna be saved, but right now he looking just for the elect.
In whom we have redemption through his blood.
Being redeemed. Right? Go ahead.
Even the forgiveness of sin.
Right.
Who is the image of the invisible God.
Who is the image of the invisible God. Right? Because he told Thomas, you seen me, you have seen the Father. Right? That's why people say, well, they one. No, man. Your mind gotta be spiritually open. That's why you gotta have that third eye open to get this. Go ahead.
For the firstborn of every creature.
The firstborn of every creature. Now, didn't it say in Genesis 1, he created out of the waters all different creatures are living, right? He called himself a creature, the firstborn of every creature. So when they tell you that he created all different animals, we also, he made abundance of people came out of the waters too. Go ahead.
For by him were all things created
Just like it just said in John 1:1, but by him all things were created, go ahead,
that are in heaven
that are in heaven. So the Most High Yahawah ain't create nothing. He created YAHAWASHI. It said here, go to blueprint. He created the angels, us, and go ahead.
and that are in the earth, visible and invisible,
Right.
whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities.
And it says whether they invisible or visible, meaning the rulers of this world, right? The wickedness of the spiritual demon Satan. YAHAWASHI created all that. Go ahead.
Whether they be on thrones or dominions or principalities or powers,
Right.
all things were created by him and for him.
By him and for him, man. Hey, the church, they ain't gonna go into this. Get Hebrews chapter 1. I know it's deep, ain't it? It's serious, bro.
I got a precept. This is John chapter 3, verse 16.
Right.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son,
Right.
that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life.
Right.
Now when you go into only begotten, that means you're the only one that the Father has created himself.
Right.
Because remember, he referred to the angels as sons of God.
Right.
He refers to us as sons of God. For him to be the only begotten, he's the only one created by the Father himself.
Bring it out.
This is Hebrews 1, chapter 1. God who at sundry times
Right.
and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets, hath in these days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the worlds.
Right. Read that line one more time.
Hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son,
Right.
whom he hath appointed heir of all things,
Of all things. Everything, man. Go ahead.
by whom he also made the worlds.
Right. Worlds with an S. So YAHAWASHI, the word English called Jesus, made the worlds, man. The Most High created him and said, here, go to blueprint. Do what you do. Everything in righteousness, man. But the church tell you that, oh, no, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. God ain't created nothing but the Son. And God means power, angels, rulers, judges. So the Lord created YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI created the angels, the Israelites, and everything else, man.
This is John chapter 17 and verse 17. These words spake YAHAWASHI and lifted up his eyes to heaven and said,
Right.
Father, the hour is come. Glorify thy Son,
Right.
that thy Son also may glorify thee, as thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they might know thee, the only true power,
Right.
and Yahawashi HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth. I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do. O now, Father, glorify thou me with thine own self, with the glory which I had with thee before the world was. So he's saying, return me back to that glory that you gave me before the earth was even established.
Right, right. But you got the Christians talking about, oh, he didn't come to tell Mary and Joseph. He came through Mary. No, man, he was in the beginning.
And
And they tell you that in Proverbs 8 chapter 2.
Like, then you have people that say that God, Jesus is God.
Well, we just talking about that. That's why I
You know,
went into
but
that.
when you start off John 17, it says Father.
Right.
You talking to yourself?
That's why we're telling when he was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. When he was crucified, he wasn't praying to himself, man. They don't understand these scriptures, man. Roman Catholicism has destroyed these people. But they was brainwashed to that, man, from the slave ship to the plantation to right now. All these churches, they got a contract called 501c3 charter, tax exempt. But the government gives them, they only can teach the people certain things. And they actually come from the Roman Catholic Church.
Yeah. That's why they don't talk about politics in the church, because they're not allowed to.
Lesbian, homosexual, don't talk about none of that.
In order for you to have that 501c3 charter, which means the funds that you receive aren't taxed.
Right.
So that means you keep 100% of those tithes and offerings.
But they had to send money back to Rome though, to the Vatican.
That's
No,
the,
they 10%.
The captain.
Yeah.
Because so, I mean, you have Baptist churches that may or may not. You know, Roman Catholicism, they all have a central network where they got to send that money back to the Pope.
Right. Yeah.
But the 501c3 charter gives you the opportunity to have tax-free income as long as you abide by the regulations. It's a business. And that's what did the Lord say? He said, "Don't make my Father's house a house of merchandise."
Right.
It's a billion, damn near $1 trillion business to have a church. So their interest is not in the truth; it's in profit. That's why you have a billion so-called Christians that don't know the Bible. You got it, brother.
It's Micah chapter 3, verse 11. It's talking about all the pastors, right? It said the head thereof judge for reward, and the priest thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money.
Right.
Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, "Is not the Lord among us? Nor evil can come upon us."
Exactly. So they're making all this money, and they're like, "Surely, man, the Lord is blessing us. We're getting all this money. Surely this must be the truth." But the Lord is telling you that these pastors are preaching lies, man. The Lord calls these houses whorehouses.
Right.
Because a lot of adultery is committed inside of the Christian church, among other things, because they'll tell you that you don't have to keep any of the laws. A lot of pastors say that the law is done away with.
Yeah.
Meaning you don't have to, you can eat pork if you want to, which is why a lot of churches after the service, they have ham and pork chop and all different kind of food. You know,
Right.
turkey is lawful, but ham is not. It's swine. But the modern church teaches that the old law is done away with.
How y'all feel about holidays every Saturday?
Okay. Yeah,
Easy.
precept.
Yeah, bro.
Churches celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, they do.
That's because it's a business, brother.
In Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 7. How shall I pardon thee for this? Thy children have forsaken me and sworn by them that are no gods. That's what they worship in the church. That ain't no God. That's a man that lived under 1400.
Yeah.
Right? It say, when I had fed them to the full, they then committed adultery. We committed spiritual adultery. Right? Worship of the other gods. And assembled themselves by troops in the harlot house. That's what they call those churches.
Said
Harlot
assemble
house.
themselves by troops. I mean,
Meaning
it's a lot of them.
It's a lot of them.
And they have revivals, but then when you in there, they send that collection plate 2 or 3 times around.
Yeah. Building fund.
They do the building fund, and the
offering.
building ain't been improved yet.
Yeah.
You have a lot of pastors that go in, that have to do those depositions where they have to sit in front of the court and explain how the hell you got a Range Rover and your income is $20,000.
Right.
But there's a judgment for that. It's better that they just be a rapper than to pick up the scriptures and pretend to be a man of the Lord. Because they profiting off of the Lord, and they using the Lord as a reason to make money, to make profit. Because tithes were originally designed to help the needy of the church. You got it, brother.
Jeremiah 14 and 13. Then said I, Lord, power, behold, the prophet said unto me, ye shall not seize the sword, neither shall you have famine, but I will give you a sure peace in this place. That's what they teach. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesy lies in my name. I sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spake unto them. They prophesy unto you a false vision and divination, and a thing of naught, and the deceit of their heart.
Because they've turned the Lord's house into a financial buffet, a spiritual McDonald's.
Right.
Where you don't have to live right, you just got to pull up to the drive-thru and give us the money.
Right.
We guarantee you're going to be saved.
Come as you are, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why they don't require
prosperity
you to
doctrine.
change anything.
Right.
The Lord requires obedience, man. He said obedience is better than sacrifice. When you pay them, you're giving a sacrifice, so to speak.
God.
The Lord said, I require obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice.
Listen what the Lord said to the prophets, right? Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning the prophet that prophesied my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say sword and famine shall not be in this land. By sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
So the same thing that they telling the church people they're going to be protected from, they're going to taste of it. and the people that's believing it and following it. But the Lord says them that know are going to be with more stripes, man.
So you're not in wrong if you don't go to church?
No.
Your body.
You're not in the
You
wrong
in
for
church
not
right
going
now.
to church. This is church. When 2 or 3 are gathered in the name of YAHAWASHI, there he is in the midst.
Right.
It tells you in Acts, the 7th chapter, that he don't dwell in temples made with hands.
Right. Read it for you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it up.
Let's talk about with the holidays. Jeremiah 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen,
Learn not the way of the heathen.
and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right.
So, learning not the way of the heathen, a lot of these customs come from pagan customs. They come from other civilizations. Easter, for example, goes
Right.
back to the Babylonians. Ashtar, she
Right.
was a god of fertility,
Right.
which is why people go for egg hunt. They hunt for eggs. And they have a rabbit. A rabbit is a symbol of fertility as well, because rabbits have a lot of sex and they can populate really quick. All of these things go back to pagan customs. That's why the Lord telling us, don't learn the way of the heathens. You go to Halloween, that goes back to the Druids. The Druids, that it was for lack of a better term, it was the spiritual men in Ireland. But they were sacrificing people. So what they would do is they would come to your door and they would say, look, trick or treat. In other words, do you have somebody that we can sacrifice, or we gonna put a hex on you? And if you didn't give them somebody to sacrifice that night, they were gonna put a curse on your house. So that's why people go around and they knock on the door and they say trick or treat. Exactly. Bobbing for apples was a thing that they did to the people after they got the people, right? They would take them, and before they sacrificed them, they gave them an opportunity not to be sacrificed.
Right.
And they would have to stick their head in a boiling water and try to grab something with their mouth before the skin on their face fell off.
You see that now when they just do it
With their hands behind
their
their
hand
back.
behind the back with the apples. That water used to be boiling hot liquid, man. And if you ain't grab the apples, hey, yeah,
You wouldn't have nothing left on your face. You're
Yeah.
better off being sacrificed.
yeah.
But these customs, our people celebrate these things and don't even know that they go back to such wicked things. Christmas goes back to Rome. Rome as well. Con. What he's talking about is an older civilization, Semiramis, Tammuz. Because that tree that's discussed in Jeremiah 10th chapter, that tree goes back to the Babylonians because they believe. You want to break it down?
When Nimrod died, right? So they said he was killed by
A bear. Boar.
well, it was they said a wild boar, right? But he was having sex with his mother, right?
Hey,
She had the people that come off around everywhere to put presents under the tree to pay him worship, pay him homage or whatever you want to call it. So that's where that comes from. And also, what she created too, when Nimrod died, she said that she got impregnated some kind of way. But she said Nimrod impregnated her through the spirit.
Immaculate conception.
That's where the Immaculate Conception comes from with Mary and Joseph. Joseph and Mary had sex. But through the Christianity, they tell you that Mary had a miraculous conception and she had the baby Jesus. That comes from Semiramis. Because she was impregnated through the spirit by Nimrod, and she had a son named Tammuz. Now, as they say, Tammuz was born on the 25th of December. Not our Lord and Savior. He wasn't born in December.
He was born around the springtime.
we know what date he was born?
Not the exact date, but we know what time.
Right.
What happened?
The wise men wouldn't have been out there in the wintertime. It's too cold. And he was born around the time of the Passover.
Right.
Those things, yeah, and Passover is around the springtime.
What they call Easter. Between what, March and April?
Yep.
That's when the
March and
Passover
April.
is. But they call it Easter. That was his birth as well around that time, man.
I know that. That was birthday on that.
Who don't know? Talking about these false pastors? They probably do, but they are designed to teach lies to the people.
Preachers of habit, man.
That's every church.
Every church.
And you got some churches that'll preach that you're not supposed to celebrate that. You got some churches that'll do that.
You might got one, you got a few.
But the majority of them just go along with the get along. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Huh?
Oh, they read
They're the
about
worst.
Illuminati most definitely.
They're the worst.
TD Snakes, with Buffalo Dollar in them. Yeah.
These are the $1 million scammers.
Right.
These are like the
Al
NBA,
Sharpton,
the
Jesse
NBA of
Jackson.
comments.
Yeah.
You got the regular D-League pastor that's at your everyday corner, and then you got the NBA. Them brothers, I wouldn't even call them brothers. Them priests and pastors are the NBA professional comment of the scripture. That's why all of them go to theology school. When you go check their background, they all of them went to some kind of theology school where they teach you how to preach the scripture.
Right.
When you go into the scriptures, the Lord got disciples out of fishermen. He could have easily went to the synagogue. You had learned men, learned Israelite men that were in the synagogue since children. He could have easily went in there and got them. He chose to go get fishermen and people that weren't really learned in the scriptures like that. Because the Lord's showing his power.
Right.
That's why, like, you watch the movie Passion of Christ, right? You seen that?
You know, against the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, you seen how the Pharisees and Sadducees were saying, crucify him, crucify him. He could have easily went and got them. They was learned in the law.
Exactly.
But he didn't. He went and got some cats that was sitting on boats fishing that didn't know nothing. That's why they say, who are these people that they perceive to be learned men? Who is this guy? Who is this coming with him? Who these 12 is? They talking scripture. They didn't go to school with us. They didn't learn with us. That's why they wanted. That's why they were trying to find some kind of way to cut them so they can try to crucify them. Right.
So you feel like people that go to school for the church, read the Bible.
Well, they've been taught they absolutely.
Who taught them? Who taught them? They go to
a lot of these churches are run by so-called white men.
Right.
They have taken the scriptures and created a doctrine that's all inclusive.
Right.
When the scriptures are not, they have never been all inclusive. That's why they have to go to these theology schools to learn this.
Right. Should it be a school of how to learn the Bible?
Not where you got to go and pay all of this money.
Yeah.
Now there's school that in our time period, when we were in the land of Israel, we had what you call synagogues, where you could go and read scripture and learn scripture, recite scripture.
And no problem.
You know, but this day and age, they just like college. You got people who get a $100,000 degree that's not worth shit. It's the same thing. And these pastors, they get out and they may have took out loans to go to that school or whatever the case may be, but their mindset is not on the truth anymore. It's on making this business work. And that's why the Lord says it's going to be a punishment for that. A harsh rebuke for that. When you go to rebuke, that means a correction.
Brother, 1 Corinthians 1 and 26.
Beautiful.
For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But God hath chosen, YAHAWASHI have chosen the foolish things of the world
Right.
to confound the wise. And YAHAWASHI say, has chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
That's why the Lord didn't call men out of Harvard to go and sit in Oxford and tell them about, yes, the Lord is coming. He didn't do that. He went and got everyday men and gave them an understanding of this so they could go out there and preach. The Lord said he was pleased by the foolishness of preaching. Because from the outside looking in, if you didn't talk to brothers, if you just saw the brothers, it looked like a foolish thing to do. To just be out here. You out here in a garment, you know, or what they might call a dress, and you out here talking about the Bible. From the outside looking in, it looks foolish. But that's how the Lord wants it. Because he wants the truth to be out there in plain sight. So nobody got no excuses. You can't say I didn't know. You can't say I didn't see. You can't say I didn't have enough money to get into school to learn it. Oh, they was talking about this in Oxford? Oh man, I went to community college. You ain't got no excuse.
Right. They was out there on the street corner teaching it. The scripture tell you, freely you received it, we received it, freely we teach it.
And he didn't choose the strong men of this world. If Jay-Z was preaching this, everybody would believe it.
Right.
If Future made a record about this, everybody would be an Israelite overnight.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be for the right reasons. It would be because they see him getting all the money, all the females, and since it looked like he know where to go, we just gonna follow him.
The Lord don't want everybody, man.
No.
He's only looking for, he said, his sheep hear his voice and they follow him. Everybody ain't gonna get this. This is only for, he said, many are called, but only a few are chosen.
Because inside of the chosen nation, you have a chosen part of that nation.
Right.
That's gonna understand this. In the first Exodus, the Lord brought the entire nation of Israel out of the land of
All
Egypt.
12 tribes.
And they were doing all kind of wicked shit when they got out. This time the Lord said, I'm gonna fix y'all. I'm gonna get 1/3 of y'all nation they're gonna be in their right mind, and 2/3 of y'all gonna have to stay there, and through reincarnation, that 1/3 having children, y'all will be back.
Right. So the 2/3 that's gonna die in the nuclear fire, the famine, the race riots, martial law, concentration camp, they're gonna come back through the 1/3 as babies. Yeah. So we trying to get out here on that first resurrection, not come back through somebody's nutsack. For real.
And if you understand this, that means that the Lord is giving you opportunity to do the same thing.
Right.
Because a lot of people hear this and it just don't resonate. Believe it or not, because it was shocking to me when I first got into this. When you explain this to somebody and they don't get it, it's kind of shocking. But then you realize that the Lord ain't make this open and available for everybody. This is VIP. Because the people, the men that are delivered from this side are going to be reverenced. The Jay-Z's of this world, you're going to be, if you get this knowledge and you endure to the end, you'll be the Jay-Z's of the next world.
I'm trying to bring this to them, like me having as much knowledge as y'all have about this.
Well, brother, it start baby steps. Baby step. What you receive right now, go home and research it for yourself. Get you a King James Bible, not a New King James, but a regular King James Bible, and then start highlight. Get your highlighter.
That's 1611. It got this book.
And
that's
it's got
a red
the
book.
Apocrypha.
It got the Apocrypha in it. See this red book right here, the Apocrypha? They took that out.
When they first released the King James Bible in 1611, these books were in it as well. This book is in between the Old and New Testament. It tells you what happens during the time of the Greeks.
All that history.
All of the history in between that.
So we don't know. They made us start eating pork. That's where all that come from.
Hellenists. That's why in Galatians it tells you there's neither Jew nor Greek. When you go back to that Greek word, it means Hellen, a Greek-speaking Jew.
That's why
because our people, through the force of the sword, our people were forced to change from keeping these laws.
Right.
The women weren't allowed to circumcise their children, and some women died so that they could circumcise their children.
Right.
You had men that died so they couldn't eat pork because they refused to eat pork. The people put them to death. And through all of these kind of scare tactics, you had a situation where you had 7 brothers that died back to back.
7 of them.
They got tortured and died back to back because they didn't want to eat pork. They didn't want to go against the laws of their fathers.
Just for not eating pork. Well, all 7 of them died.
Okay, now we eat it.
Exactly, because they did so many brutal things to our people that our people,
Scared of
under
men.
the fear of death, our people they forsook the laws.
That's why a lot of people gonna take that chip. They gonna put you up on the guillotine and say you're gonna take it or get your head cut off. Same thing they did with the 7 sons, they're gonna do with the microchip.
That's why don't take that chip. Don't take that
A
chip.
long time ago, I heard a radio show say like in 2025 it's be more black on Earth.
It's already, we are at the sands of the sea. We are at the sands of the beach, and we are at the stars of heaven, man.
Well, if we can get Hosea 1 and 10, the Lord said that our nation can't be numbered.
Right.
So really, what the so-called white man put out there as us being a minority, we're not the minority.
We've been the majority since we've been here.
But they call us that because they use these tactics to throw our mental state off. Because if we feel like we're outnumbered, we're not going to have a mentality of equality or anything else. Exactly. But they're really starting to get to a point where in most states they're dying more than they're being born.
Right.
So they're moving backwards. So either way, the Lord is bringing calamity on them. But this is just the beginning of their sorrows.
When you read Deuteronomy 30 and 7, it says he shall put all the curses that's on us on our enemies. So right now it says over 500 are dying a day from opioid, fentanyl. You got another 200-300 down from suicide rate. You got another 200-300 down from ODing. So they are dying, and then this was in the news a couple months ago. It said the so-called white race is dying faster than they are being born. So the Lord got the curses on them now, man.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
The curse that was on us in Deuteronomy 28 we read you.
With the broken homes,
right,
the evil eyes,
right, yokes of iron on our neck, all that.
The Lord is starting to bring that to their doorstep.
This brother right here, man, they burning him alive, man. You see how they standing around him like it was this. Right, look at that brother up, man. Change, man.
So the Lord didn't forget
this
about
brother
him.
right here. They can kill him with his 2 kids, man, 2 boys right there.
How y'all feel about Donald Trump?
We feel like Donald Trump is fulfilling the will of the Lord, man.
The Lord got the spirit on him to do that.
He's fulfilling the will of the Lord right now. You can't do anything against the truth, only for it. Anybody the Lord has running the country and making decisions, he's putting that in place. This ministry is bigger than Republicans and Democrats. We could give a shit how they fight about their own country. Because the Lord is going to remove all of them. Whether they claim to be Republicans or Democrats, they're all going the same place.
In Proverbs 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So, when he said the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Trump is the president of America, so he'll be what? The king. So the Lord got him doing that. Right? Verse 2. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord punneth the heart.
So it's not about what you think is right. That's why when we say, we go back to the scriptures to back it up.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the will of the Lord.
Right.
We have a responsibility. In order for us to get out of this predicament, we got to be the change we want to see.
Got two more. Proverbs 16 and 9. A man's heart deviseth his way. You come up with your own way, right? But the Lord directed his steps. See? It's Proverbs 20 and 24.
And it's the Spirit of the Lord that brought you up in the first place.
Say man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way?
And that's why we pray that the Lord give us the right way, send us to the right direction. The Lord sent you here to hear this message. You know, you got a radio station, you got a channel where you've been trying to search for the truth, and the Lord gave it to you free.
Straight up. I can't.
Because there's no such thing as free will. We have the illusion of free will. But before we were even born, the Lord knew when we were going to die. He already knew how we were going to live. And it was meant for you to receive this message right here, right now. You know what I'm saying?
Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations.
Exactly. So if you receive this message and you understand it, as a man of your nation, you got a responsibility to not only be that change, but spread that change. Plant that seed. Wherever you go, plant that seed. And it gets to a point where your very actions and the way you carry yourself are so opposite of the rest of your people that people will want to know, what do you believe that make you move the way you move? Your lifestyle as an example should bring people to the truth. And that's why we're in the time of the Lord judging, but at the same time, he's wanting his sons to become better sons. Because we love to say that. We say this all the time. We love to say, you know, what's up, God? What's up, son? What's up, king? But we got to back that up with responsibility. We can't just say that. Because people look at Future like he's a king, and this man's a justice. He's a clown. Any man that'll lead a whole generation to take a drug and not tell that generation that he stopped taking the drug, that's a problem.
You know how like in Florida, right? It's like 67 cities, right? Every city got a mayor, a governor, right? They got school board, judges, right? Out of these 12 tribes, it's gonna be 12,000 each tribe, right? It's 144,000. Those are going to be the rulers of the kingdom, right? So the same way you got 67 cities in Florida, you got mayors and governors and judges. Them 144,000 are going to be all men. They're going to be the rulers. When the Lord destroy this, heaven going to be here on earth. The 144 is going to be the rulers in the new world. And all the other people, all the other Israelites, everybody going to live good, have their mansions, their land, but you want to get a crown. You're going to crown those 144, and they're going to be the rulers.
I got to precept. This 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world?
Right.
And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?
Right.
So we're kings in training. We're judges in training.
Right.
So if the Lord is going to give us a responsibility of the planet Earth, are you not able to judge and discern what's right and wrong in your own personal life? That goes back into that being the change you want to be, that you want to see. It's about being a judge first of your own, being able to rule your own spirit. And that's what the Lord is training us to do now. If you're able to rule your own spirit, then the Lord can put other spirits in responsibility, under your responsibility. If you can control yourself, the Lord, all right, he's responsible possible. Let me give him a million people. Let's see if he can decide how they even flourish on the earth. That's what Paul is saying. If the Lord has already said that our people are going to judge the entire world, you can't judge amongst yourselves small matters. Hey, it's all good, brother. Hey, you know what, brother? Take my number down, man. You got your phone? So with that, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the apostle elders of Great Millstone, who are the elders of Yashar Allah, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim, who are preaching this word, believing this word, and living this word in truth and in sincerity. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.